Hey, Astra Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Virgo Ascendant. Just want to give a few quick disclaimers before we start. So it's important to understand that I am using Vedic Sidereal astrology. So if you're coming from Western tropical, this may not work for you. Make sure that you have the correct information for this video. There's a calculator down below in the description so that you have your sidereal placement. Also, it's important to understand that this is just a general interpretation of what it looks like to have a Virgo ascendant. So obviously conjunctions, aspects, yogas, etc. will matter in this as well. So let's talk about the sign of Virgo. Virgo is a dual sign, so it is very changeable, very adaptable. And with dual signs, typically the first 15 degrees of the sign is more fixed in nature, while the last 15 degrees is more changeable. Virgo also is an earth sign, so it is very practical, very down to earth, wants to deal with the practical aspects of life. And Virgo is ruled over by Mercury, and this is the strongest home for Mercury. This is also Mercury's exaltation. So, this is an extremely powerful position of Mercury in the sign of Virgo. This shows great intelligence, analytical skills, business skills, ability to deal with finances, sharp wit. This is a very intellectual position of Mercury. So, very strong intelligence that is seen through the sign of Virgo. Virgo also rules the sixth house naturally. So, it is about service, it's about wanting to do good in the world, wanting to help those in need. Let's talk about health for Virgo ascendants. So, Aquarius has rulership over the sixth house of the chart. This may bring some joint issues related to the legs, especially some circulation concerns. And because Virgo naturally rules the sixth house, which is our nutrition, our digestion, this can show digestive issues related to anxiety, especially. But for Virgo ascendants, because Rahu co lords Aquarius, it can bring in all sorts of illnesses. And oftentimes, this is related to the anxiety and overthinking, this drive to want to fix and to make things better in life. Virgo can become perfectionistic. So you could find that there's a lot of disarray in your life where you're not able to really come to that place of perfection that you would want. So with Virgo ruling over the ascendant, the first house, and Gemini over the 10th house, this makes Mercury a functional benefic for the chart. And of course, because Mercury is a very adaptable planet, you want to see what is the condition of Mercury. If Mercury is placed with other planets, it will adapt to the qualities of those planets. And the sign that Mercury is in, it will also adapt to that as well. So, Virgo ascendants are all about dealing with the problems of society. They want to make the world a better place. They are focused towards the details, towards the problems. They're very critical and logical people who are constantly looking for answers to problems. They're very helpful people, always thinking of other people and how they can fix other people's problems. They could be involved with the medical field as well, especially if this is falling under the asterism of hasta, which we will talk more about when we get to the Nakshatras. But Virgo ascendants are very critical, very detail oriented. They're very intellectual people. They make excellent communicators, can be very witty and humorous. Virgo ascendants also can be prone to injuries and health issues, as I mentioned earlier. And especially because Virgo is the natural sixth house of the chart coming into the first house, it can even show issues related to the mind towards the head area. There can be head injuries. So these are things that you definitely want to watch out for. But even in terms of the mental sphere, this can show anxiety, stress from dealing with the difficulties of society. Because Gemini has rulership over the 10th house, Virgo ascendants also tend to use their intelligence through their professional life as well. So they can make great communicators. They could work in the technical field with this placement. They can use any skills they have in their career. So they become very clever and talented people through their professional life. And typically, because Gemini is that original third house, they consider their coworkers almost to be like family. They're somewhat of a friendly or sibling like bond with the people that you work with as well. With Libra in the second house, Virgo ascendants are always trying to balance the ups and downs within their family, whether this is their original family or their family after marriage. They're constantly trying to play diplomat to really bring about a sense of balance and harmony with their loved ones. So, Virgo ascendants usually are mediators in the family. They're always trying to break up arguments and family drama. Because Taurus has rulership of the ninth house, a Virgo ascendant can also run into gurus, mentors, teachers who teach them about finances, about how to manage money. So they usually are very fortunate when it comes to dealing with finances and resources as well. They know how to balance this area very well. And they themselves may also become like mentors who show other people how to deal with finances as well. And with Taurus in the ninth house, they take their education very seriously also. They value higher education. Scorpio has rulership over the third house and Aries over the eighth house. So, with this position, a Virgo ascendant finds their individuality through deep research. They make excellent researchers. They are all about getting to the bottom of everything. Virgo ascendants can naturally spot all of the smaller details. And this definitely can mean that they could work in a medical profession as well, working in surgery or medicine with this position. They could even find themselves getting into the occult, mysticism. But for Virgo ascendants, they want to find what is practical, what makes sense. So they will try to analyze and break down the spiritual side of life to try to get to what really works, what can really be applied to our practical lives. A Virgo ascendant may also have some karma related to their younger sibling as well. So sometimes there can be a turbulent relationship with siblings with Scorpio in that third house. And sometimes their way of communication can also seem very probing to other people because, again, they are all about getting to the bottom of things, getting to the details to how things work with this position. They could have a fascination with the horror genre, with mystery, murder mystery with this placement. They want to get to the depths of everything. Sagittarius has rulership over the fourth house and Pisces over the seventh house. So oftentimes there is something very cultural about their home situation. They can have family that comes from a foreign country with this position, or there is some travel that happens through their family with this placement. The family tends to be very much about culture, about tradition, about religion and customs. This becomes very strong in their home situation. The mother can also behave like a guru or teacher to them, always wanting to give them wisdom and guidance. And sometimes the Virgo ascendant may rebel against this guidance, may feel that it is a bit overpowering or overbearing at times as well. Because Pisces has rulership over the seventh house of the chart, also their spouse could be someone who's very cultural, who brings in a lot of strong family values and tradition. And the spouse could be someone who comes from a foreign background or a different cultural background with this position also. Sometimes there can be a lot of confusion within the marriage, though, because Pisces is naturally the two fish swimming in different directions. So the Virgo themselves may be confused about marriage, or their partner may be confused about marriage with this position as well. There can definitely be some difficulties around married life. There can be a lot of issues around the partner, and sometimes Virgo ascendants want to escape their marriage due to some of these difficulties. But of course, you want to see how is Jupiter positioned in the chart. Capricorn has rulership over the fifth house and Aquarius over the sixth house. So Virgo ascendants are not as geared towards raising children. And if they do raise children, they tend to do it in a very professional and mature way. So there is a lot of seriousness in this area. They want to raise children in a practical way. But usually, what I've seen is that Virgo ascendants are not as inclined towards raising children. They may get along more with their children when the children get older and they can actually have mature conversation and connection. With Aquarius ruling over the sixth house, as I mentioned, this is going to create a lot of disruption in the Virgo ascendant's life. They are always finding problems, always finding things that need to be sorted out in their lives. And they can find that as much as they want to create this sense of balance and order, that they're unable to find that true perfection that they're looking for. There's always something that is in disarray. Sometimes they also have to be careful because they could also receive some kind of humiliation or criticism through servants, through subordinates, through their colleagues with this position. Somehow they can get into difficult situations where their reputation may be threatened. This could also show, especially if Saturn is in a difficult position, that children could almost take over and they could become like authority in the relationship where the children want to rebel against the Virgo ascendant. Virgo ascendants also may teach other people about how to deal with children as well. This can be seen also. Again, you want to see, where is Saturn positioned in the chart. Cancer has rulership over the 11th house. So their elder sibling or their social circle may be very nurturing, very caring towards the Virgo ascendant. They derive their sense of emotional nourishment and connection through their social network. So they tend to have a large social network, or are connected with many people. They could also be a part of an organization that gives them this feeling of closeness and connection. But Virgo ascendants naturally want to nurture others. They want to fix the problems of society. They want to help those in need. Leo has gone into the 12th house of the chart. So this is going to make the sun a functional malefic for the chart. For Virgo ascendants, they may want to send their children to foreign lands for education, or to isolated institutions with this position, or they can feel some kind of separation or isolation in their relationship with their children. Sometimes Virgo ascendants can also find their confidence, their self esteem, their individuality more so through foreign lands, through isolation, through working in isolated places like hospitals and facilities with this position, where they can use their healing, where they can be of service to other people. So let's talk about Mercury through each of the 12 houses, starting with Mercury in the first house. This is a very auspicious position of Mercury. Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo and in its strongest home, its office sign. And Mercury has directional strength in the first house. And because it is in its own sign in the first house, it is forming a Vajra Yoga. This is a very special position of Mercury. This makes you highly intelligent, humorous. You have excellent communication skills. You always want to learn, always want to travel. This gives a very high level of intelligence. So if Mercury has gone into the second house of the chart, then Mercury is in the sign of Libra. This makes you very skilled with money management, with finances, with family situations. You know how to make deals, negotiations, how to do business with this placement. This may also get you into the legal field as well, but you are very concerned about your family and security, and are very clever and creative when it comes to earning wealth. You may also have very good social skills as well. You know how to communicate in a way that is charming, that is balanced, that is harmonious. If Mercury has gone into the third house of the chart, then Mercury is in the sign of Scorpio. This makes you really intense and passionate about whatever your interests, hobbies are. You want to learn. You are always learning something, and you put your whole heart and soul into it. And this can make you very competitive in education as well, where you want to be the top of your class. You want to get that high position in higher education. This could also give you an interest in mystery, detective, and the paranormal with this position as well. You can make a great researcher, or you can make a great writer of mystery novels also. This definitely gives you a love of travel, where you want to explore with this position. If Mercury has gone into the fourth house of the chart, then Mercury is placed in Sagittarius. So you would have a very close connection with your mother. Your mother is someone who likes to communicate a lot, and you have good communication with the mother. Of course, you want to see the condition of Mercury. If malefics come in, then there may be some conflict with the mother as well. This can also make you a traveler. You're constantly changing locations with this position, moving from one place to the next. And you are definitely all about learning, all about using your intelligence, all about communication. This is something that runs through your bloodline. You have huge intelligence with this position. If Mercury is placed in the fifth house of the chart, then Mercury is in the sign of Capricorn. This can make you do very well in areas of business, especially with speculation, with creativity with this position, and politics. You can do very well in these areas. This can make you a very creative and talented person, especially with writing, with music, with this position as well. But you like to use your skills and education for a practical purpose. So you may not be as interested in education if you can't put those skills to use in the practical world. You are a strong business person with this placement. You can also have a very strong bond with children, but again, you approach it in this very practical and mature way. If Mercury has gone into the sixth house of the chart, then Mercury is placed in Aquarius. So you are someone who is extremely service oriented. You want to do something in the world that makes a difference. You may get involved with politics, with humanitarian causes, with all sorts of social reform, trying to make a difference, trying to make a change. You could also have a great love of animals and could be an advocate for animal rights. This can make you a very skilled researcher. You can do well in areas of technology, of science, anything where you can use your knowledge to better people, to serve people, to try to make a difference. This also makes you very interested in health and diet, nutrition, exercise. You are all about your health with this position as well. If Mercury has gone into the seventh house of the chart, then Mercury is positioned in the sign of Pisces. This makes you someone who thinks outside the box, but you love to learn through your partner as well. So you really want a very intelligent spouse. You want someone who you can communicate with, someone who you can share ideas with, someone who has a lot in common with you. You love to travel, you love to communicate, you love to have an interesting relationship with this position. If Mercury is placed in the eighth house of the chart, then Mercury has gone into the sign of Aries. So you are really intense with your studies. You want to get to the bottom of everything. You can make a very skilled researcher, and you could have a great interest in astrology and occult mysticism, really wanting to get to the bottom of everything. This could also show someone who does well in the medical field, in surgery, and emergency situations, especially. And this can give you very strong intuition, strong healing abilities as well. If Mercury has gone into the ninth house of the chart, then Mercury is placed in Taurus. So your father could be someone who's very intellectual, someone who loves to communicate, loves to make jokes, has a great sense of humor, and you get a lot of your intelligence through a father figure, through a teacher, through a mentor in your life. And you love to learn. You love to go for higher learning, higher education, spirituality, philosophy with this position. But again, you like to use this knowledge in a practical sense, in a way where you can really apply it to the practical world. This could get you interested in learning about finances, about hospitality, about business, about agriculture with this position. And you have a love of travel, but you love to travel in comfort. If Mercury has gone into the 10th house, then Mercury is placed in the sign of Gemini. This is a very auspicious position. This forms another Vajra Yoga for the chart. So, this is definitely going to make you a very intelligent person, very humorous. You love to travel, you love to connect with other people. But this especially comes into your work life. You are focused on your professional life. This is the main aim of your whole life. So you love to be in an environment where you can communicate with other people, where you can relate different ideas with your coworkers. You love to use your intelligence through your career. So it has to be something where you can apply your intelligence. You can't have a boring career. You have to be able to use your mental capacity in some sense. This can make you a very skilled writer. You could be skilled with social media marketing. You could be skilled with technology, very tech savvy with this position. And you are all about spreading information and knowledge. If Mercury has gone into the 11th house of the chart, then Mercury will be placed in the sign of Cancer. So you love to be surrounded by people who you can really connect and relate to. And you're a very helpful person, a very kind person. You're always looking out for the people who you are connected with. So people tend to admire you because of this. You could have a large gathering of people, large group of friends or acquaintances with this position. This could also show that you want to make a difference by being a part of a group. So you want to use your intellectual skills to really heal, to help, to nourish people. And this could definitely give a great relationship with the elder sibling. Obviously, you want to see the condition of Mercury. If Mercury is heavily afflicted, this can definitely bring in conflicts and difficulties with the elder sibling also. If Mercury is placed in the 12th house of the chart, then Mercury has gone into the sign of Leo. So you are a very creative and talented person, but you need your alone time. You want to express yourself when you are alone, and you get the greatest ideas, the greatest inspiration when you have that space to yourself. Your intelligence works best when you are in an isolated place. This shows that you have an intuitive intelligence. You're able to draw in information from source. So pay close attention to your dreams with this placement. This can make you a very intuitive person. This is definitely a creative and talented placement. So you could be skilled with all sorts of arts, creativity, writing with this position as well. And definitely you love to travel with this placement, but you want to travel in style because this is in the sign of Leo, which is all about extravagance. So you are always thinking in this sense of dynamicism, of creativity, of boldness with this placement. And you could be a leader in an isolated place, in a foreign place, in an institute with this position as well. So let's talk about the different nakshatras. So if you have a Terra Falguni rising in your chart, then you are all about business, contracts, dealings, negotiations. You are a very diplomatic person. You know how to close deals. You know how to make connections with other people. You can also be a very detail oriented person. You're very nitpicky about details. You want cleanliness, order, and you are on top of every small detail. You can be very skilled at crunching numbers, dealing with the small details within a business situation. This can make you a very talented writer. This can make you very talented in any form of communication. You're a very humorous person with this position as well, but you can be a little OCD about cleanliness and order. So sometimes this can create some extra anxiety and stress. So sometimes you need to find relaxation methods to calm down these anxiety levels. But you're someone who can be counted on. You're someone who keeps your word. When you have set out to do something, you want to show up and to make sure that you fulfill your promises. This is good for relationships, for marriage. You're a very committed person, but more so, this is about business, friendship, and dealings. The bull could be a symbol that is very strong in some area of your life. A bull or a buffalo could show up in one of your interests or as your school mascot for some of you as well. And you can be very fascinated with documentaries, with watching movies where you can learn about something with this position. You love to learn, you love to gather information. You make an excellent middleman as well. You know how to pair people together, whether it's in the context of romance or business. You know how relationships work. You do very well in this area. This could make you a lawyer. This could make you an astrologer, someone who deals with contracts, deals with consultations, deals with marriage counseling. You can do very well in these areas as well. And definitely with this position, you are a hard worker. You want to get your work done before you enjoy life. This can make you a very self made person. You put a great deal of dedication into your work and you thrive off of a consistent routine. If hasta is rising in your chart, this could make you a healer. You could work in a medical field as a therapist with this position. You could also be a very creative person, getting into arts, sculpting, carpentry, working with your hands, working with technical skills. You are a very skillful person. You could also have a love of gambling, playing poker, getting into stock market with this position as well. And definitely you love to explore the occult mysticism, but you want things to make sense. So you like to take the spiritual and philosophical side of life and to try to apply it to the practical to see what is real with this position. You also have an excellent sense of humor. You can be very witty, very sarcastic with this position. You can make an excellent comedian. And definitely, you are someone who is quick moving. So you like change in your routine. You like to be active and moving with this placement also. If you have chitra, rising in your chart, then you're someone who loves to take pictures. You love photographs. You love selfies. You love to see things visually. And you are a craftsman, an artist. You're a very talented person. You could be skilled in the arts with this position, skilled in interior design and decorating. You love beauty. You love to collect jewels and gems with this position. You could also be very skilled with finances. You could do well in accounting and management and financial management with this position. You could be an architect where you love to design things, you love to create works of art, and you can be very skilled in real estate as well. With this position, when you give gifts to other people, you also find a lot of luck that comes into your life. And you are really into working out, building your body, having a beautiful looking body with this position. You could also be very skilled with puzzles, with playing chess, with strategic games. You love to get down to the details and to be strategic with this position. And you may also be into having a vision board where you manifest your dreams visually as well. So, Venus, Mercury, and Saturn are the most auspicious Dasha periods for a Virgo ascendant. The Venus period, especially, can be a great time for getting closer with family, building relationships and connections. This can definitely help with your finances. You could run into a guru, a mentor, an inspiration, a coach in your life who helps you to learn about finances. This could be very good for your education as well. And this could be a time of traveling, of enjoying yourself through this Venus Dasha. The Mercury Dasha is definitely a Dasha where you are focused on learning, gathering information, and focused towards your career, focused on really performing your intelligence and skills through your profession. Saturn Dasha can be a time where you are focused towards your responsibilities in your work life. You're focused towards health. You're focused towards bettering your life at this time. And it's a time that demands a lot of hard work and discipline. The Saturn Dasha can also bring in spiritual knowledge, mantra, rituals, also, obviously, you want to see what is the condition of Saturn in the chart. This will tell you more about the dasha. The Sun, Mars, and Jupiter tend to be the most inauspicious dasha periods. But again, you want to check to see how are these placed in the chart. The Sun dasha can take you to foreign lands, can take you into spiritual knowledge. This can be a time where you are wanting to be very charitable, to give back, to help people, to use your status in a way where you can make a difference. But it could also be a time where you're a little bit more isolated, withdrawn into yourself at this time as well. And definitely you want to watch out for expenses also. Mars Dasha can be a time where you are very motivated and determined to work hard towards your goals. And you are definitely going to be all about finance, about family, about connection, security at this time. Of course, again, you want to see what is the condition of Mars. The Jupiter Dasha, you are focused towards relationships. You're focused towards family, marriage, connection at this time. Your loved ones become extremely important to you. The moon dasha can give varied results depending upon how the moon is placed. Moon is a very changeable factor, and moon has rulership over your 11th house, which is a trick house. It is considered to be a malefic house, but it is also a house where we gain wealth, income, and connections. So you want to see how is moon positioned? What phase is the moon in? Is it a darker moon? Is it a brighter moon? And what planets or aspects are the moon with in this placement as well. This will tell you a lot about how the moon will function for you. But it can be a time where there's increase in your wealth, where there are opportunities coming in also. Rahu and Ketu are always going to be the most unpredictable dasha periods. You want to see how is Rahu and Ketu placed. For example, if Rahu is placed in the sign of Aries, then you want to see what is the condition of Mars. That will tell you so much about what that Rahu dasha will be like for you. But ultimately, Rahu is a time of confusion because it can bring in so many desires, opportunities, and directions that you want to move into. So it can create a lot of restlessness within the mind. Ketu Dasha is definitely a time where you may be cutting out or removing things from the past. But again, you want to see what sign is Ketu in to really get an understanding of the Dasha period. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you like this, don't forget to leave a like. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.